Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my detailed report on the full Leo monster moon. You are feeling it now as I'm posting this at the end of January. The days leading up to February 1st and after February 1st are in the zone of influence for this mega moon. I'm going to go into the good, the bad, the ugly of this moon, but don't be too worried because when you know about the potentials, it's much easier to navigate through them and to stay safe. And there are also many wonderful potentials about this moon, and we're going to go into all of it. I will definitely let you know how you can work with these energies to make the most of these potentials. And this report is for all signs. High pressure, high theater, monster full Leo moon happens officially on February 1st, 2026 at 5:09 p.m. Eastern Time. So you can, if you're in a different time zone, you can extrapolate out from there to see exactly what time, but the energetics of this moon you will feel many days before and days afterwards. To the challenged points of this moon first, but I just have a couple of quick admin notes. This video is launching out February, and if you want more details about the whole month of February, right now in another window, go to anniehelpsyou.com and grab your free February star report that has all of the dates of the month and all of the information you need to make the most of the entire month. At the end of this report, I will also have in succession on YouTube my February 2026 detailed horoscope report for each sign. That is one video timestamped for each sign. On podcasts, just look for February 2026 Annie Botticelli, and then you will find that report. So that this is sort of launching us into February, what we're going to talk about here. And then to get details about the rest of the month, those are two resources that you can use. If you love my style of teaching and you want to learn astrology for personal or professional purposes, go to beastropro.com and for a very short time only, grab your 20% off payment plan discount coupon, which is there at beastropro.com. Okay, so let's just get into it. We're going to talk about the bad and the ugly first, and then we'll finish off with our positive energy about the really sweet parts of this moon. It is complex, and I will show you that right from the beginning because the moon moves quickly, and within this day or just before or just after, the moon will oppose Juno, Pluto, Astraea, Mars, Vesta, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Pallas Athena, and North Node, because we have a massive, massive stellium in the sky where a lot of planets are concentrated in one place, all within the zone of influence of the moon opposing these placements. So this carries a lot of intensity because of the sheer number of interactions, of conversations that the moon has. And this is in an angle of opposition. So, it's overwhelmed, it's pulling in different directions, it's directly confrontational. And sometimes it can be an activating force as well. And that we'll talk about that with the positive things. And even these challenged points can be activating forces for good. All right, so let's talk about where the friction and the stress are very likely to show up. Pluto and Mars are big kind of bad boys of the zodiac, and they're going to both have oppositions from the moon at this time. Classic ego clashes and power struggles. Leo moon on its own, like I said, is theatrical. Leo rules theater, and full moons are always more dramatic. We know that there are more admissions to hospitals. We know that there are more calls to 911 during a full moon. Things that are in our periphery building up emotionally, we're like wet dogs shaking off the emotion at the full moon time. And this is productive, and this is good, and this is a beautiful cycle. Things build, they release. Then they come back down, they build, they release. So this is a natural rhythm. And any tensions you've been holding have a chance to be released at this time. And awareness of this can definitely help with how it's expressed. But because Pluto is the lord of the underworld, the ruler of birth, death, transformation, and Mars is the god of war, when we have oppositions there, dominance games, who's in control battles, pissing matches, feeling challenged or criticized or undermined and triggered, emotional overreaction is definitely a thing to look out for. Leo energy feels and expresses everything really loudly. And since Mercury is here involved as well, of course, the moon itself, emotional, words may come out hotter than intended, or emotions may escalate very quickly and very, in some cases, explosively because of the Mars and Pluto pieces here. Drama can definitely spread quickly, especially if unchecked. So if you are feeling charged and going into a situation that you know is going to be charged, whatever you can do to take the charge off first. I always like to write a letter using all of the words I would like to use in a situation. I have Aries rising and a ton of Sag in my chart, so I'm very expressive. But I found through doing my spiritual work, and I'm not always 100%, I don't always do it 100% when I'm supposed to, right? It is a practice. But I find that when we can get out all those things that we're thinking that are looping through our minds before we have the important conversation, and not let the conversation be the way that we discharge the energy, then that can be much better for our lives, much better for our relationships, much better for the circumstance, and get a better outcome. So if you can write down all the things that you'd want to say in a situation that you know you're heading into, so that you kind of get them out, then you can go in a little bit more clear. And then when tensions rise, you might not react as intensely. Venus is involved. There's going to be relationship strain energy. Okay, so old wounds around appreciation and loyalty, love can surface. Money, of course, is involved with Venus and being involved. Feeling unseen or unchosen or unvalued, or being accused of the same. So any of these things that you may feel, they may also come to you as being felt by somebody else. So either which way. Mercury's involvement here definitely can bring a mental overload. Pallas Athena involved as well, combined with Mercury here, can bring this obsessive thinking, looping arguments, unproductive outcomes that are just charged, and an overanalysis of every interaction. So you may just need a little time and space to yourself. That's the other thing about thinking of these things beforehand, is you can mark in your calendar, if it's possible, to have a little downtime in the days around this moon. I tend to feel the moon a few days before. If it's got a lot of aspects or something else is going on with it, sometimes you can feel it 3 or 4 days or even more before. But then it tends to build, and then you'll feel it kind of wear off after, in the days after. You may feel very much emotionally and mentally stretched thin at this time. This pulling in either direction of this opposing force can definitely give you that experience of feeling stretched thin. Okay, so when we navigate through transits consciously, it helps things to not go sideways as quickly, and it helps us to recover more quickly if we do notice that things are going sideways. Okay, so this is the ugly. We're going to just get right into this. Some things that can go sideways if this is unconscious include things having to do with explosive confrontations. Okay, so I was alluding to that with the bad, but this can get ugly very, very quickly with these aspects. Something that can happen is you may say or post the thing that can't be taken back. And that is a really good tip at this time. If you're charged about something, try to make it as not public as possible, the way that you express this, because there could be a lot of collateral damage or cascading effects from the negative energies that happen at this time. Negativity is a part of the dual experience of humanity, so it doesn't do any good to suppress these energies. That's why I'm kind of gearing us towards releasing them. Exercise, but be careful to not over-exercise in your aggressive enthusiasm. Other things that tend to relax you or just sort of get the charge off. Where it can get ugly also is there could be a massive burning of bridges from pride. Leo energy, in all of its wonderful confidence and has so many positive traits, there is quite a bit of pride here. Leo, is associated with prides, with the animal themselves, and the energetics here are the same. So wounded pride can turn into ultimatums if things escalate quickly, leading to some sort of dramatic exit that may or may not be able to be patched up. Public scenes could come up from this. The momentary ego flare where you feel like, I'll show you, where you look back and think, oh gosh, maybe that wasn't the best idea. And this can definitely lead into manipulation and power plays with Pluto involved and aggressive actions with Pluto and Mars. Control tactics, guilt, emotional pressure, coercion, either from you or towards you. So this is, this can get pretty nasty. This also may lead to some sort of identity crisis moments. The sun is involved here, of course, as it would be with a full moon, where you're asking those questions. Who am I in this anymore? Where the things that come out of you, are not yourself, and they're being triggered, and it starts to, make you question some stability that you may have inside. So it can be pretty destabilizing, especially involved with the sun and the North Node there. Sometimes the full moon forces truth, whether you like it or not. Sometimes this truth can be better expressed if it's not charged. So this can be an elucidating moment. This can be a time where something important is shared, where something comes out that needs to happen in order for forward progress. But the way that it's shared can also affect the outcome. And that's one of the big things to note. Okay, so I'm going to give a couple more tips on how to work with the challenge energies, and then I'll get to some of these good potentials. Very big thing to do at this time is to pause before reacting. In the heat of the moment, that might not be easy. Knowing into that, going into it, can also be helpful. You can channel this intensity into creative work, movement, writing, as I was saying before, then waiting before sending or not sending, speaking truth without performing it. This can be a very performance-based moon where, the gesticulations, the wild hand movements of just the fury or whatever emotions trying to come out can come across very, very intensely. And you may be experiencing that from somebody else. And in some cases, this can actually be scary. If you're in an unstable situation or in a situation where you're not safe, this could definitely create an unsafe moment. So if you can avoid a situation during this time, if you are in an unsafe moment, or use this as a catalyst to get safe, that could be a really great use of this energy. Asking the question, are you seeking connection or validation? And if there's some validation that is needed, maybe some inner work on getting that validation could be helpful where it's not expected from someone else. And that connection seeking can be geared towards another source that won't carry the toxins. Because some relationships that we have may come with a kiss and then may come with a sting. And you may be sorting out some of this, of where to place your energy to protect from the sting and just get the kiss. I mentioned public drama before. This is a very big thing. If you've got an important topic to bring up, it might be better not in the public scene, because if it escalates, the outcomes can be more challenged. Also, if people are drinking or doing anything else, the combination of those kind of things with this energy can be really, really scary. So just be aware of that. Try to do your best to not make an irreversible decision or have an ultimatum at this time in the heat of the moment. If there's something that needs to be cleared, having that be done through a well-revised letter that doesn't have charge points or accusations, where you're focused on solutions, you can use the moon better to focus on solutions, and you may not be able to do that conversationally at that time. Okay, so let's talk about some of the positive things now from this potential. If you're in denial about something, this full moon can strip away that denial very quickly. So having this radical clarity about your truth, or getting to see an insight of someone else's truth, might be very cathartic or very helpful for your decision-making process. And just kind of bringing the bigger picture in, we are in eclipse time. So we already have a lot of big things going on. I talk about that more in that February report that will follow this, or that you can find by searching for February 2026 Annie Botticelli. So we've got that story kind of coinciding with this energetically. So you might have some very clear direction based on what comes out of somebody else. Or you may need to have a patient moment where what comes out of someone is their not self, and more of themselves can come out now after the sort of expression. It's also very important to take into consideration in the bigger picture that we are still in these beautiful open stars, where if you do have to make decisions, it can actually be some of the best time in the whole year to make the decisions to make or break a relationship. But in the heat of the moment may not be the best way to do it, because if you do want this to be long term and you do want to be sure about it, thinking about it instead of making the decision in the moment might be helpful. You'll be able to see more clearly what you want at this time, what you need, and what is interfering with you getting it. You'll also be able to see where you shine and what makes you feel really great. This is one of the good aspects of this moon, is that you may get more clarity into what you really, really, really want and what really lights you up like a sunflower. That's how I always like to describe Leo moon, or Leo, so just Leo energy in general, is what is it that makes you feel like you are lifting up to the sun like a sunflower. Just imagine that feeling of just stretching up with joy and strength and warmth. What makes you feel like that? And then you can do more of that or make decisions based on that. This moon can be very, very helpful to finding that groove for you. This is also a very courageous moon, and you may seize the courage to claim the spotlight. And if there isn't negative drama about this spotlight claiming, this moon can be a big time for you to bring something out. That's important. If there is any charge to it or there is any controversy to it, just carefully consider that. But this could definitely be a shining moment for something that you've been working on. This moon also may be giving you insight into where you have been dimming your light. Leo is ruled by the sun, and so a lot of questions around this can flip this switch. You could be done pretending that something doesn't matter to you or that something does matter to you, and really get honest and authentic about this, which can change your relationships, but can also give a chance to improve them. This moon is highly, highly, highly creative. Leo is very expressive with its creativity, and it's a leadership point. So you may feel leadership activated this time, and sometimes leadership activates through challenge. So something in yourself may rise from this energy, and that tension can bring you forward into action that can be very positive. Creative breakthroughs, decisive conversations, hopefully that are more calm, leadership moments, and Pallas Athena here being involved in all of this can definitely lead to the strategic insight. Strategy can be very important at this moon. Because the new moon is involved, the North Node is involved with this full moon, you may have alignment moments about your highest expression in this lifetime, your purpose. Something can click about why a situation has been charged, or this wasn't random, or there was purpose behind something, and you may see that very clearly, as well as the direction moving forward. Some things involving moral clarity with Estrella here involved may come up, and there could be a reclamation of something regarding integrity. So, something where you may have been out of your integrity because you were pressured or because you were dimming yourself, and you may rise into more integrity at this time. Self-respect can also snap back into place with this moon. Leo can definitely grab the confidence, and the respect can go along with it. So all in all, this moon can definitely create liberation. That's a very key word at this time. The liberation may come through this honesty, through the humility, through the heart-centered courage, or possibly through the energetic expression of things that really needed to come out. And then you say, okay, where are we now and where do we go? So it definitely can be a defining turning point. And if you can handle it consciously, you can prevent it from becoming a messy, emotional wildfire. Okay, I wasn't going to do this, but I think what I'm going to do is add this surprise in here at the end with just a quick summary for each sign of the opportunity of this full moon, okay? So Aries energy, this full moon is going to push you to own your creativity and your desires without turning every challenge into a battle. Taurus friends, your home, family, and security, emotional security themes are going to peak at this time, and they're going to force you to balance this comfort with necessary change. And this can be an activating force for that necessary change. Gemini friends, remember that your words are going to carry extra weight now. So if you can speak from the heart and not speak from reactivity, and really listen to what's being said and try to respond to that rather than react, that is going to help you manage this moon and to move forward with your communication with people close to you or anybody in much more fulfilling ways. Cancer friends, money, self-worth, value systems are coming to a head now. And they're asking you to stop underselling yourself emotionally or materially. Leo friends, this is your full moon. Okay, you're spotlighting your identity, your authenticity, your power, your physical body, how you're showing up. And this is going to reshape your path forward. We only get one full moon unless there's a blue moon, which happens occasionally. But besides that, every 13 moon cycle, we only get one full moon, and this is yours. So this can definitely change how you make your path forward and can be a very highly elucidating experience. Virgo friends, hidden emotions, exhaustion, or subconscious pressure is going to surface. And this can really require rest and reflection. It's not really optional at this time for you. So really schedule that in for yourself. Libra friends, your friendships, your group dynamics, your social scenes, and your future goals are going to get tested with this. And they're definitely going to reveal which connections are truly supporting you and which ones are not. And you can make your decisions from there. Scorpio friends, this is all about your career, your reputation, your authority, your work, your business, your passion projects, being an authority in your own life. And this moon is going to challenge you to lead without control or resentment, and you may be able to clear the air on those topics now. Saggy friends, this is going to be all about your beliefs and your truth and your long-term direction, your education path, Sagittarius as a teacher, international things, expanding your horizons. And this is going to push you more to live in alignment with what you actually stand for and to get much more clear about that. Capricorn friends, the placement for you here is about intimacy. It's about trust. It's about resources that are coming into focus. It's about other people's money, spiritual money, other resources that are not financial. And this is going to demand emotional honesty and clear boundaries from you at this time. Aquarius friends, your relationship dynamics are going to reach a turning point, and some key relationship factors are going to come up very strongly at this time. You're going to be asked for balance between independence and genuine connection, and other sides of relationships may really reveal themselves at this moon. Pisces friends, this is all about your day-to-day experience, your health routines, your exercise routines, your work-life balance. They're being challenged, questioned, highlighted. Health habits really put under the spotlight at this time for you. And this moon is going to urge you to stop sacrificing yourself to keep everything running. And you may have some elucidating moments on how you can make that happen. All right, friends, remember, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com. Grab that free February star report. There is so much going on this month, an eclipse and other big things. So go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, click on Unleash, and that will get you that star report. If you want to see what is up for this year and beyond, go to AnnieBClarity.com. Annie, the letter B, Clarity.com to see my outer planet transit reports for these long-term themes that are running in the forefront and in the backdrop. And if you want to learn astrology and you resonate with how I teach, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, and grab for a very short time only the 20% off coupon for the payment plan option. If you want to pay in full, the discount is already applied, so you don't need the coupon for the in full payment. But for this short time only, payment plans are also going to get this coupon. So grab your 20% off if you've been wanting to take this class. I have not discounted it before, but I know a lot of people are having financial issues from the things that are going around financially in the world. So I'm offering this for a short time. Stay tuned after this video for my February report. Remember, it's time-stamped. Listen to the intro first, then go to the timestamps. The timestamps are in the notes underneath the video and a pinned post. Okay, so you can find them that way. Podcast friends, search for February 2026, Annie Botticelli, to find that February report. And I hope you all have an easy full moon as you consciously navigate through the potentials that are challenged, and that you embrace the wonderful potentials from this moon. I'll see you in my next report. Bye for now.